Vasiata. Karush Andeleze. Lavade is Lavaziza Davasiata. In the meeting place. In the meeting place. Samuel, come. In the meeting place. In the meeting place. I need you to understand that Prophet Samuel never started by wearing a mantle. He started by doing what? Carrying a mantle. In the realms of the spirit, there are process and procedure you must follow. No matter how loaded you are, you must follow process and procedure. God is not a biased God. He doesn't cut corners. God doesn't favor Mr. A and disfavor Mr. B. He's a God of process. He's a God of process. God knows where to lift Mr. A to, and then leave him so that Mr. B can be lifted. God does not lift everybody at the same time. There'll be confusion. God is a diligent Father that prepares people individually based on their gifting and their qualifications. It's not a God that lifts Mr. A and destroys Mr. B. He's a God that understands when to use Mr. A and when to start using Mr. B. God does not fight us. God does not fight us. Samuel never started by wearing the mantle. He started by what? Carrying the mantle. In ministry, you must understand that as a man of God and as a woman of God, you must get to a point where all you need to do is carry the mantle. It doesn't matter how tough it is, carry it. It doesn't matter how difficult it is, carry it. It doesn't matter how hard it is, carry it. It doesn't matter how much it makes you cry, carry it. There are men carrying the mantle, and yet still they are still being tormented. There are men carrying the mantle, and yet still they are still crying, but they are still saying Jesus is Lord. There are women of God carrying the mantle, and yet still they are still being called fake. You must understand, in as far as it's God that called you, you must get to a point where you must carry your mantle. The days of carrying the cross is over. Jesus carried the cross so that you and I will not carry cross again. But mantle, we must carry. Elisha understand the importance of the meeting place. It is not as if Elijah did not appreciate Elisha. It's not as if Elijah did not love Elisha. It's not as if Elijah did not see the services and the contribution of Elisha. But the thing is, it is not in the place of Elijah to hand over the mantle to Elisha. It is for Elisha to get to the meeting point. Elisha followed because of the mantle. Elijah understood that Elisha was following because of the mantle. If it was in the position of Elijah to hand over the mantle to Elisha, he would have done so. But mantles are not being handed over. mantle come on you when you are in the meeting place. Don't ever fight for the mantle of another man. It will kill you. Because you will not know how to use it. When the messengers came from Saul, Samuel understood that these ones were sent to come and arrest David. But he just stood. He didn't say anything physically, but spiritually, he was saying something. How can people that are not pastors, they have no business with the anointing? These are men that don't go to church. They only go to the shrine. But they started prophesying. Because they came after a man carrying the mantle. But the man was in the midst of a man wearing the mantle. The timing of God is not the timing of men. You seated here, you may be a man and a woman with a calling and know nothing, and no man of God has ever prophesied to you. Why? Because God has covered you for his own purpose. You say, I go to a prophetic church, but yesterday they don't prophesy to me. What you carry is so heavy that no man has right to speak to you. You are a project of Jehovah. You are specially kept for his purpose. When the time comes, God himself will take you to the meeting place. And when you are in the meeting place, he will speak. Hear me. There are men in the Bible that did greater works, but they said nothing physically, but spiritually they spoke. When God called Noah, he said, go and erect an ark. When you erect the ark, make sure that all the animals, male and female, enter the ark. Hear me. When you are in the meeting place, you will get the language. I was wondering, when Noah met anaconda, male and female anaconda, what language did this spoke to them that made them enter the ark? And again, I understand that there were elephants there. When they entered the ark, what language did Noah spoke to the male and female anaconda that made them not to swallow any animal? There are men that look at you, they don't talk physically, but to you, you may think they don't know. They don't understand what you're doing. You mess around them. You become an hypocrite around them. You think they don't know what you're doing. They are just looking at you. They don't speak physically, but they are speaking spiritually. Great men of God are not the ones that make noise, are not the ones that speak physically. They are the ones that speak spiritually. You say, he doesn't see. Thank you, he doesn't see. The air, I come around him, I sit around him, but I want him to die, but I want him to go. Thank God you think he doesn't see. He sees, but he speaks in the spirit. Men that wear the mantle don't speak physically. They speak in the realms of the spirit. Because they know they were not called by men, but they were called by the spirit. Samuel stood. He didn't say anything. But when the men came, they started prophesying. How come they started prophesying? Samuel said something in the realms of the spirit. The first group came, they started prophesying. They prophesied, they became tired, they went back. Saul sent the second group. They came and started prophesying. When they prophesied, they became tired, they went back. Saul sent the third group. They came and started prophesying. When they prophesied and became tired, they went back. Saul himself came. When he came and he saw David and Samuel, Saul started prophesying. He prophesied until he took off his clothes. He bowed before Samuel. He kneeled before David. He lied down before David. The accolades became too much that David decided to run away. Can I prophesy to somebody here? Prophesy. Those that are looking down on you, those that have written you off, those that are condemning you, those that are lying against you, they will use their mouth to confess for you. Amen. How? There are men wearing the mantle, and there are men